I'm back with another video. I know I've been gone for so long. That's because I was dealing with some things one of them 2 months, y'all. It was a lot going on with family, just life in general. It was a tough 2 months, but we got everything situated. We got everything straight. So I'm back with another video, and I'm going to be posting back to back now, you guys. I'm so sorry for that. It was just a lot going on, and I am going to tell you guys, but for right now, you know, let me kind of cope with it. But by the title of this video, you could tell what I'm going to talk about. You could tell what I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to try not to get emotional in this video, because it's like I could think about it, y'all, and just go like in a mood to like stay to myself. But when I start to say it out loud, I get emotional because it's like reality. And I don't like to think that she's gone. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Now, anybody that know me, y'all know me and my mama was like this. We were best friends. We go everywhere together. You see her, you see me, you see me, you see her. Like, we talked about everything. I felt like I could literally go to my mama and tell her everything. I didn't keep anything from my mama. Anything. I told her everything that was going on in my life. Even personal stuff, like stuff that you, like, you know, want to keep a secret. She was my best friend, y'all. She was really, literally my best friend. It was always me, her, and my baby sister. Just us three. So I'm gonna start from December. It started December. I'm gonna say, y'all, I don't want to give y'all the wrong dates. I'm gonna say like December. I'm gonna say like December 14th. December 14th. My mom was working at this job. It was a rest care job. What is a home care? And she had to bring her patient to a doctor's appointment with another worker. But the other worker was driving on the van, and my mom was sitting with the patient, but they had no seats on the van. So my mom, she was basically sitting on metal for a long period of time, because where they had to go was far from where there was, so it took hours to get there. Then show y'all that orange gel got my mouth like, look. But so that was December 14th. So about like 2 days go by. So December 16th, my mom started complaining about her leg. She started to complain that it's hurting her, and at night she'll have us massage it, and that lasted for like 2 days. So now on December 18th, my mom came to me and my brother, and she came to me first, and she was like, "Do my leg look swollen?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it does look swollen. You need to go to the hospital." So my brother was sitting in the living room, and she went to my brother. She was like, "Do my leg look swollen?" And my brother also said, "Yeah." So at this point, my mom started crying. She was like, "It hurts so bad." So I'm like, "Mama, let me bring you to the hospital." So I drove her to the hospital that was on our side. If y'all don't know, I'm from Louisiana, the West Bank side, not from the East Bank. So we went to the West Bank hospital. So when we got there, it was optional, y'all. When we got there, they immediately brought her to the back. My mom was a diabetic. Her sugar was 500 and over. And that could cause a diabetic coma, a diabetic stroke. Yeah. So at that point, like my mom, her sugar, like I used to take care of my mom, so I always used to check her sugar, make sure she take her medicine, insulin, and her sugar will always range like a 200. That was normal for her, like 200 or 300 sometimes on a bad day. And when she heard that news, she just started catching an anxiety attack, y'all. I never saw my mama like catch a bad anxiety attack like that, like never, ever, ever in my life. And she started panicking, and I'm like, "Mama, calm down, calm down, calm down." So I'm screaming and I'm telling the doctors, do y'all have anything for anxiety? She's catching the anxiety attack. I'm like, do y'all have anything? So they finally came up in there and gave her something for anxiety, so it kind of calmed her down. So now a couple of hours passed by, and my mama legs was so swollen, y'all, like so swollen. And I just remember they came in the room and they did an ultrasound on her leg, and then they left back out the room. And now we was waiting for the results to come back. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and my mom just laying in the bed, and I'm laying on side of the bed with my head down, and I'm like holding my mom's hand, and she was like, Neek, that's what she used to call me. She's like, Neek, you can get in the bed with me. And I'm just like, Mama, it's okay. I don't want to hurt your legs. Your legs are swollen. I don't want to hurt you. So she was like, I'm all right, baby. Just get in the bed with me. I always used to cuddle with my mama, y'all. Always. At this point in time, I'm just like, Mama, I don't want to hurt you. I'm right here. I'm not going nowhere. I promise you. So that's when they come in the room and they explain to us that my mom had blood clots formed in her legs. That is a very deadly thing. That is very deadly. But I did not know until the passing of my mama. Because I was used to my mama going to the hospital and coming back out like maybe the next day or 2 days later. But I didn't know at the time. So I'm just like, I'm just like, well, they're gonna, they're gonna help her, they're gonna treat her, and she's gonna be back out here walking. So they immediately rushed her to ICU, which is intensive care unit. So she spent 3 days in there. She spent like 3 days in there, and I was sleeping with her the whole time, y'all. I did not leave my mom's side at all, unless I was going home to take a bath and get some clothes, and then I was coming right back. And when I did leave, y'all, I was on FaceTime with my mama, like, no, I'm not about to leave you by yourself. You're going to have somebody on your side. At this point, my daddy, he was working offshore. So he was offshore, but he got an emergency helicopter to fly him in, like, maybe, like, 3 days later, because it's kind of hard for him to, like, have an emergency flight back out home. So my mom, when I got there, my mom's legs was getting swoller. So the people said they got to do surgery, blood thinner surgery, and go in and take the blood clots out her leg. And they informed us that she had blood clots in one leg, but both of the legs are swollen. So I did ask the doctor about that. I said, if she have blood clots in one leg, why is both of them swollen? He then explained to me, they could be fluid in the legs due to her kidney, but my mom only had one kidney, y'all. So I'm just like, well, he's the doctor, he know what he's talking about. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So that's when they did the surgery on her leg, the first surgery on her leg. And Lord Jesus, sorry, y'all. They did the surgery on her leg, and they told her, they gave her an option. Actually, they was like, you could get the surgery on your leg, or you could see if the blood thinners work. And if the blood thinners don't work and you lose feeling in your leg, we're gonna have to amputate your leg. And my mom did not want that because she was only 40 years old. She was young. So then we went with the surgery. So after the surgery, you guys, I'm gonna say they kept her in ICU for like a day, and they sent her to a regular floor. When she was on a regular floor, the patch where she had her surgery at, they did not come in and clean it. They did not help my mama at all. They did not assist her to the bathroom. They did not do none of that. We had to do that for my mom. We had to do that for her. We had to clean it. We had to assist her to the bathroom. We had to make sure she ate. There was literally no help. Like, their staff were not helping at all. So maybe, like, I'm gonna say, like, 2 days they kept her in that room, right? And they sent her home. So my mom, she came home, and I'm just like, Well, they discharged you mighty fast. You just had surgery. But she came home, and when she came home, at first she was laying on a couch, but then we got, because she couldn't walk for far, and she needed a step stool to get in the bed, so I had to run to Walmart, get her a step stool, a neck pillow, and something else I had to get her. Oh, compression socks, because they told her to keep that on, and she kept that on, y'all. That's when we got her to get in the bed, and I do have a video. I'm gonna show you guys that video in this clip. But we got her to get in the bed, and she was laying down in the bed, and I noticed that her stomach, legs are swollen, y'all. So I'm looking. Now, I didn't want to scare her. I'm like, Mom, I think you should go back to the hospital. She was like, well, I just think you to go back to the hospital. I'm like, your leg's not going down. They say you had surgery, and I'm just not getting it. I'm not understanding why they discharged you. So I talked her in about going back to the hospital. So this time we was going, because my mom was working 2 jobs. So now this time I wanted her to go to main campus auctioneer, where she worked at as a CNA nurse. Because I knew that they was going to take good care of my mama and really run tests on her and everything that she needed to get done at the hospital she worked at, because she did work on a surgical floor. So when my mom got there and the people did an ultrasound, now they saying it's blood clots in both legs, and now it has moved to her stomach. It moved to her stomach, and it was in both legs, but the man told me that it was only in one leg. So I was highly upset. So the next day, and this is, we brought her to the hospital on the 28th. On the 28th, right? No, it was at the 29th, I'm sorry. It was the 29th, I'm sorry. It was the 29th. And she had to do a surgery the next day. What would be the 30th. That surgery was basically to go in her and thin the blood clots so they could go back in the next day to take the blood clots out. So she was in that surgery, y'all. We were sitting in the waiting room for hours, just waiting on her. Finally, I spotted her when they was taking her out and bringing her to the room. And I said, there she go, y'all. She's coming out there, and we all running down the hall. And we was like, they told us we couldn't go in the room yet until they got her situated in the room. So we like, okay. So at this time, y'all, it was like 10 o'clock at night. So the visiting hours was over. So we couldn't see our mama, but they gave us a chance. So the lady came up in there. She was like, only one person could sleep with her tonight. She was like, by her being in surgery for all these hours, we is gonna let y'all go see her for a little while, but y'all can't stay long because visiting hours over. So we're like, okay, long as we get to see our mom. And my dad was spending the night with her. So we go up in there, we talk, and now I told my mom, I said, yeah, you're gonna be out here. Did a little dance, and I was like, Mama, you about to be walking, and we gonna be dancing, and we just all giving her a kiss, saying I love you and everything. And she was like, let me see my grandbaby, because I had my son with me. She was like, let me see my grandbaby, and she held him and she kissed him. And then the lady came by the room, y'all. We only saw my mom for like 5-10 minutes, and was like, y'all have to go. We had to go. And that was our last conversation with our mama. Like, the last time we saw her breathing, last time we saw her talking, last time we saw her smiling, last time we, just saw her, like, alive. So as I was walking out the door, I remember I told her, because she knew I liked the hospital apple juice. So I'm like, Mama, what is apple juice for right here? She was like, for me. I said, I can have it. She said, no. She said, she said, I can't eat nothing past 12. She said, give me that. And she jumped it, y'all. And I was just like, okay. So as I'm walking out the room, I said, bye, Mama, catch my kiss. And I gave her a kiss. I blew her a kiss. And she caught it. She caught her kiss out my kiss, y'all. And did this. She caught it and did that. She caught it and did that. And I just remember waking up the next day. Cause that night, y'all, we was up all night. My son had us up all night playing around, goofing around. And so I kind of overslept that day. Cause like I said, I used to get up like 6 o'clock in the morning just to go to the hospital with my mama. I kind of overslept that day. So it was 10 o'clock. And Mom already has been in surgery. Went to surgery. And my dad actually came home to help us out with the house. And I remember me being asleep. And my dad just screamed the F word. He said, I don't want to curse, y'all. So I woke up. I immediately jumped up out my sleep. I said, we have to go. I said, I don't care if who not ready, who not in the car. I'm pulling off. I need to go see what's wrong with my mama. Because my daddy just said the F word and he left and slammed the door and driving speed off. Like, I have to go see what's wrong with my mama. I have to go see. So, sorry, y'all. So I'm packing my son diaper bag and I'm putting him in the car seat and I'm just walking outside with the car seat and the diaper bag in my hand like this. Y'all don't mind me keep licking my lips because that's that orange gel. The orange gel got my lips so numb right now. But yeah. So I'm in a car and I'm praying to God. I'm saying, Lord, you be the doctors, you be the tools, you just help my mama, give her the strength, let her get out the surgery, let the surgery go well. Lord, just heal her body. I remember just praying, and I'm driving, and everybody else in the car, and I'm driving, and I'm just blacking out behind the wheel. And I feel like that's, at that moment, my mama's soul left her body, because I literally blacked out behind the wheel, and I told my brother, I said, I can't drive. I pulled over, and I told him, come drive. My brother started driving. He driving. So we get to the hospital. Couldn't find a parking spot. So my brother was like, I'm going to let y'all out right here. Y'all go up there and see what's going on. So so we got out the car. He went, tried to find a parking spot. So they brought us to a closed door waiting room. And at this moment, y'all, I know I had to be the strongest for everybody. For everybody. So at this point, everybody's in there crying. And I'm like, y'all stop crying. Everything is okay. She's all right. She's in God's hands. We prayed and she's going to be okay. So finally, the people got us and brought us upstairs to another waiting room. And as we walking in there, my daddy said, is that a priest? And he just bust out crying. And I'm just like, why did you ask that and just started bust out crying? The man said, what all you guys know so far? My daddy tried to give up a whole story time about when he woke up and everything. And I said, sir, look, all we know, she went to cardiac arrest. The man said, sorry for your loss. Honestly, y'all, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The first person I looked at, I swear, the first person that I looked at was my second oldest brother, because he never had his daddy because his daddy passed away when he was in my mama belly. And all he had was his mama. Now you lost both parents. And my brother was just stuck to the chair. He was stuck to the chair. And I just went over him and I was like, I got you. I got you. I promise I got you. I'm not going to let nothing happen to you. Then I went over to my baby sister. I said, I got y'all. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got y'all. And I'm busting down, y'all. I cried. I cried. My daddy crying. He hit the floor. And the man was like, the doctor was like, do y'all want to go see y'all mom? And I'm just like, yeah. So I'm trying to walk out the room. They was like, hold up. Before we let you see your mom, we got to tell you, what are you about to see? So I'm like, okay, what am I about to see? I know I'm about to see my mama. They say she going to have a tube down her throat by them performing CPR on her. They say because the surgery went well. It's just when she got out the surgery, she started saying she couldn't breathe. Blood clot has moved to her lung. And she went into cardiac arrest. So I'm like, okay. So my mom, she was in the first room when you turn the corner. She was in the first room when you turn the corner. And at this hospital, they have like windows where you could see in there. So you turn the corner and through the window, you could see my mama laying there with the tube down her throat. So I said, I could wake my mama up. She just sleep. That was in my head, y'all. I went in there. I'm like, mama, wake up. This is me. It's your baby girl. Wake up. I'm begging you to wake up. Mama, wake up. Why you not waking up? And I'm crying over her body. I'm crying and I'm holding her. I'm holding her hand. And as I'm touching her hand, y'all, her hand is like cold. Cold, y'all. It's cold. And her hands was pale. It was pale. And I'm just like, this can't be real. So I did not want to leave the room. So my daddy started calling family members. Family members came there. I gave them my baby. And I told them, I said, because it was about time to go. And I'm clicking out up in there, y'all. I'm going, like, I'm fussing at the nurses. I'm fussing at the doctors. I'm just going crazy. So I told them, they was like, it's time to leave. Because they got to bring her body to the, whatever that place called, where you bring their bodies. And I said, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving here. Y'all not, I'm going with my mama. I said, y'all not leaving me. My mama don't want to be alone. So y'all not leaving. They was like, you gotta leave or you gonna get arrested. And I'm just like, I'm not leaving. So my auntie Jennifer, she actually came and was able to get me out the room. And y'all, I'm just crying, busting down. And I didn't know how to cope with it. I didn't. I really didn't. So we got home, y'all. That night, I still was like in shock. I couldn't really cry. I was in shock. I couldn't cry at this point until like the next day. And I woke up out my bed and I went try to walk to my mama's room. My mama was not in the room. I went back to my room, and at this point, my uncle here, my mama close. She was so close with my uncle. It was like this. And I woke up and I'm like, Lord, why my mama? I started breaking down. I'm like, Lord, why my mama? Why you took my mama? She was the only thing I had. Why you took my mama? Oh, Lord, bring her back, bring her back. And my uncle, he was trying to hold me. He was crying too. He was crying himself. And I'm just like, at this point, y'all, because I was catching seizures after I had my baby. So at this point, everybody tried to get me to calm down so I don't catch a seizure, but I couldn't. So at this point, my daddy called the ambulance. So the ambulance brought me to the hospital and gave me something. Like they gave me a shot to calm me down. And I calmed down and I was asleep that whole day. And ever since then, y'all, it been hard. Ever since that day, y'all, it been hard with family members. You don't know who to trust. Because our mom was the only person we could trust. Our mom was the only person that was going to have our back. Our mom was the only person that was going to help us out in this world. And it's like family members, you can't trust them. Especially ours. We didn't have nobody but my mom We didn't know nobody but our mom. But my mom. So it's like when she passed, we didn't know who to trust. So we actually like isolated, like all her kids isolated, and we all split up. But I'm gonna save that for another story about how my life was after her death. But well, I could say that we doing well now, cause we know my mom is with us every step of the way. She actually gave us signs, and I'm gonna save that for another story as well. Maybe being the same story as like after my mom's death. But we're doing good, you guys. You know, she's gone, but she's never forgotten. She will always be in my heart. Nobody would never replace my mama. My mama still is my best friend. I still tell her and talk to her about anything and everything when I go to the grave site, or if I'm just looking at her pictures and I got a spot for her inside my house. So I'll go over there and talk to her sometimes. And I have a book. It got a Bible quote on the book. And I write in there, to my mama and God. And I just close the book and I put it up. So whenever I want to talk to them or ask them to forgive me for my sins, or God to forgive me for my sins, and tell my mom and update her with everything, you know, I still talk to her. And I know she's here with me deep down inside, and I know she's proud of me, and I just want to prove to her that I'm strong and I got this, so you don't have to worry. But that is the story on how my mom passed away and how we found out that my mom passed away that morning. So yeah. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, because that was a tough one and I kind of opened up to y'all. So make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and click that notification bell to be notified when I do post on another video. And stay tuned, y'all, because I'm gonna be dropping videos back to back. I'm sorry about them last 2 months. It was a lot going on, and I'm gonna save that for the next story, like I said. But yeah, y'all make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.
We have going through it with your dad. I'ma leave it in the past for you. Always wanna see you.